Greetings, those in YouTube who are strong with the Force, just like me. And if you're watching this, you must be just like me. Somebody who likes Star Wars. From the lightsabers, to the blasters, to the great stories, to the cool action scenes, to the alien worlds, to the cool video games, great stories, the clone troopers, the stormtroopers even. Maybe the starships. Who am I, though, to randomly show up on this channel? Well, I am the Wandering Jedi, and I saw this door that you've seen on this channel, and I've decided to let myself in to share a reaction to the rest of you of the Bad Batch Season 3 trailer. Now, context. I am a fan of Bad Batch Season 1 and Season 2. Hopefully I can be a fan of Season 3, because up till now, I've seen nothing but great stuff in the past, and till now. And it's really refreshing seeing the story through the Stormtroopers' perspective, similar to the Clone Commando stories that we had, which this series is probably the closest thing we'll ever get to an animated Clone Commando story from Disney Plus. So in this review, you'll want to see me react to the trailer. I'd recommend for a proper experience, clicking the YouTube link, hopefully I will provide in this video, to the trailer, and watch it along with me. So at certain points you'll be able to see and time my reaction to things. Obviously I can't show me watching the YouTube video, because I may be wondering, but I do not want to get this channel in the crosshairs of Disney or Star Wars or any other toxic things in regards to reviewing things. Although this is going on YouTube, so that's a 50-50 shot at this point. But enough with that being said, let us begin this trailer. And we're going to find out. Hopefully it'll be good. Or not. I really hope not. This has been one of the very few series in this show, since Disney took over Star Wars, that has usually hit it out of the park. Let's begin. Starting at 000 and pressing play in 3, 2, and going full screen. 3, 2, 1. Hijacked by troopers, okay. All right. Okay, the Robin stuff, let's go. Yes. That's right, Echo was imprisoned. We get to see Zero. A long time. February 21st. Ooh. The Empire Verse. Giving him a blank check to collect them. Inquisitor Bane. One last fight. We get to see a Josh Ventress final season. Oh, we are going to be feasting on this. we are going to be feasting good on this. Oh, right, well. Oh, where to begin? Where to begin? Where to begin? All right, now. They're picking right off, it looks like, where Echo was. Okay, well, before I continue, if you haven't seen Season 1 and Season 2 of Bad Batch, click away now, come back to this video, and then we could discuss things, because I'm probably going to spoil Season 1 and Season 2, just in terms of reaction. So, no, seriously, I want you to see Season 1 and 2 before you come back to it. I'll give you a moment. Alright, if you're still here, you've either seen Season 1 and 2, or don't care about spoilers. Now, what are my thoughts on this? Well, it seems to be picking up left where we left off after Echo was kidnapped by the Empire. Which, yeah, kind of expected, but the line of she's been waiting there a long time. Exactly how long? That's going to be the biggest question about how long, about what's going to play out next. Because pending how long she's been captured by the Empire, there might be a possible indoctrination that might kick on in. Especially during this time in the Galactic Empire, because this is still in the Empire's infancy. It's bloody and brutal infancy, seen in in Rogue One and the Andor series, which I really hope to get a season 2 soon for that. But it looks great. I can't think of anything that might be problematic, save for maybe one thing. Asajj Ventress. Now, it's cool that they are continuing her story from where it left off in the Clone Wars. That was probably the coolest surprise. Let me see if I could cut back to them revealing Asajj Ventress. There we go. The timestamp that is at 1:48. Okay, so not only does she have a new lightsaber, it is a yellow one. Interesting. And at 1:47, you can kind of see the design of the handle, and it looks similar to her old one, but I don't... Giving her lightsaber back to her, there must be a hopefully logical reason why it's the color yellow versus red. I'm assuming it's going to be showing a little bit of a redemption backstory of, or hint at it. I also really, really hope that this season doesn't do one of the big sins Mandalorian, spoiler warning as well if you haven't seen all of Mandalorian, did, where one character who's not really part of the cast at all, it shows that's supposed to show for maybe 1 or 2 episodes, it's maybe show instead of, you know, being a side character to help the characters out. No, it's all focused around her. I'm a little bit worried about that happening. You know how the Mandalorian kind of ruined the book of Boba, which, let's be honest, our boy Boba deserved a better show than what was given to him. You know. Now, anything else that caught my eye that I might be worried about? Well, yes, there is an Inquisitor-looking character at 1:17. Now, I hope this Inquisitor character, or... Okay, it's kind of hard to tell if she is an Inquisitor character, because I don't think she was seen in Season 2 or 1. But definitely Imperial affiliated, just because of her costume, to be completely honest. It's nothing I could really gain from this, except for hopes that if they do have an Inquisitor-based agent that's heavily indoctified, they don't pull a problem like they did with the Obi-Wan show. Another spoiler warning. Look, this whole video is going to be spoiler warnings for past Disney Plus shows that you haven't seen. Alright, so if you haven't seen all of Obi-Wan, that's okay. That's totally okay. I might do a review of it on this channel, or my own channel, depending how much this does. It gets a reaction from people. So, I don't know, might be a side character. The one, since she's kind of leaning back, having a drink or two, she's probably going to be the one character vehicle to introduce Cad Bane, which, that's who I wanted to talk about in this. So, they're bringing back Cad Bane. It makes sense for Cad Bane to maybe be on a bounty hunt, or a bounty, to go catch the Bad Batch. Here's the thing, though. We know Cad Bane is going to survive. There's not much tension for what is going to happen to Cad Bane. The real question I have is Cad Bane going to kill one of the Bad Batch? I could see it happening. It'll be a tough fight between any of the members in Cad Bane. Cad Bane is smart. Every time we've seen him on a hunt, he's smart, but he's efficient about it, which is why I always liked about Cad Bane. So, that does put a little damper on it. Now, I think they can pull it off. I think they can, but we'll just have to see how they execute him, because they're bringing back Cad Bane and Asajj Ventress, two very big characters, and Rex. And I hope this isn't a matter of Filoni dangling keys in front of our hands, and he's actually going to do something with these characters, which I only bring that up because I've been thinking back to some of the other Star Wars shows where they bring back badass established characters and turn them into jangling keys in front of them. I really hope they don't do that. I don't think they will, but does have that potential. Or maybe I am thinking too hard into the Force with that. We'll see with this show. Now, the Emperor is making an appearance again. Okay, why is the Emperor concerned about the Bad Batch? Well, the only logical narrative reason I can see them doing is the Emperor knows about Nova, which we'll get to her, don't worry, we will get back to her in a moment. And they might go with the Force-sensitive clone angle, which I can see why that would be cool. I can also see why narratively, now this is not going to make some people happy, but narratively I could see her being used as a vehicle to explain the cloning process of Snoke. I hope I am wrong on that. Excuse me for a moment. Too much dark energy. Sometimes I have to still cough it off. I'm not fully cured of the dark side yet. That's why I wander places. So, him being flanked, but I'm at 058 for those trying to keep up and watch with me. Him being flanked by the Red Guards. The Red Guards look good. Him being surrounded by clone commandos, or Imperial commandos, at least in the front side of the line, it looks like. Pretty good touch. So there's definitely nods to the Imperial commandos, which they would be active at this point in the timeline. I hope one of these commandos could be an antagonist, but since this is the final season and they've barely done anything with the Commandos, save for, Wrecker, that really isn't. I don't see them doing that. If they're doing anything with the Commandos, it would either be a one standalone episode from Rebels that they hopefully have done. No, I've not watched all Rebels yet. Or there might be a squad of Commandos that might take out Wrecker for a kind of tragic irony kind of death. That's where I could see them doing this. Now, the pirate treasure hunter character, I forgot her name, but I skipped back to 014 and paused it there. Now, it's cool that they're bringing her back, because when she first showed up, I actually kind of liked the idea of the Bad Batch working with a rogue treasure hunting scoundrel, which the Bad Batch are essentially mercenaries. So, I mean, a treasure hunting character really helps build out and flesh out the galaxy and bring back the idea of, there's some ancient artifacts still left to explore, which is great. Which hopefully we could see some more ancient Old Republic stuff kind of be fleshed out into the plot. That would be cool. That would be great. But I might be getting too hopeful in the light side for that. Now, I did bring her up once, but this show is definitely going to be about Omega. Now, Omega, from recollection, her character introduction was decent. She started as a side character, then started hanging out with the Bad Batch more. But her being related to the Bad Batch, I'm a little bit iffy on. In season 2, I believe, they started showing, or season 1, they started hinting at, maybe she might be Force-sensitive clone, which, in Extended Universe, if Disney allowed Filoni and them to actually dive into, recut, and throw them back into new Disney canon, I believe clones that were meant to be Force-sensitive was an experiment. And season 2 heavily hinted at she might be the byproduct of that experiment. Now, that being said, is she going to die in this season? I believe the characters most likely to die, they probably will not kill her off. Maim her, maybe. I could definitely see maiming, or maybe she turns into a Skywalker and suddenly loses a hand. Hopefully not her favorite hand. But I guess we'll just have to see. Now, if they do kill her off in this season, I'll be impressed if the death is worth it. Because clones age fast. Not gracefully fast, but rapidly fast. This was hinted at, and this was multiple times during the Bad Batch, and a little bit of the Clone Wars during the tail end season, to my memory. I am planning to do a rewatch leading up to season 3, so hopefully I can do a proper review of season 1 and 2. Now, why would they kill her off? The emotional impact is the first thing that comes to my mind. And it would show the brutality of the Empire. How deadly it was back then, especially in the show. Especially in the dark, because this is peak dark times. I believe Bad Batch, with the new timeline, still happens before Andor, but this is still the bloody, violent throes of the Empire. So them killing kids, it really isn't a problem to them. It's a typical Tuesday. A lot of dark things are a typical Tuesday to the Empire, okay? So that's if they do the Empire villainously justified. There's probably a better word for it, but that's what's coming to my head. This is a live reaction. So my speaking is not going to be as elegant as, say, I'd be looking at a script. Now, let's go back a little bit further to when They're talking to, I believe it is Captain Rex. Here. Okay, I'm at 025. I'm going to press play on that. No, I'm going to skip back a little bit more. I'm going to try 023. I'm going to press play on that in 3, 2, 1. Pausing. Now, survivor's remorse. That is a great theme that they could show in these clones. And it will add to the tragedy of the Clone Wars and just the wars in general, and the tragedy of the Empire even existing and growing. Because I really hope they do that Captain Justice. Now, he's going to be another character we're going to see on screen and say, oh, cool, it's good to see him. But he's probably going to survive whatever the hell happens in this show. Because, spoiler alert, he's alive in Rebels. So, which is why I kind of don't like sometimes when they bring back established characters that we all know die a lot further in the timeline. But I feel, depending on how the character is executed, it might come off as forced, hence the dangling keys analogy. So, am I confident this show will end The Bad Batch Season 3 on a good note? Yes. Ish. What they do with Nova will be very critical to not only the fan reaction to the show, but also the future projects. Why do I say future projects? Well, it feels like they're trying to build up Nova to be the similar level as Ahsoka, which she deserves her own video for sure. Maybe multiple videos on Ahsoka, but Omega, that's going to be the biggest question I am going to have while watching this video. And I hope they do. If they do kill her off, it will be her probably trying to save the Bad Batch. Because I don't think she will turn on the Bad Batch unless they show she's been indoctrinated by the Empire, which the Empire loved to try to do to its prisoners. But that's kind of a 50-50 on that. So, Crosshair, that's right. We need to talk about Crosshair. Let's see, I press play. Ah, there he is. He's at 039, for those who are watching and playing with me. Now, he looks like a shell of his former self. He went through an interesting arc in Season 2, and probably one of my favorite episodes, actually, is him turning on the Imperial with him. If there's one character that could kill Omega, I could see a good argument for Crosshair. Depending on how desperate he is to continue living. Or if he's accepted his fate as a dead man. Which I could see the latter, and because he's accepted his fate as a dead man, he might try to actually save Omega, get her out early from the inside. That would be cool, and that would be a good redeeming arc for him, because he was an outright bastard at the tail end of Season 1. And it was tragic, but it was good tragedy. You know, Season 1 showed why some troopers would actually still stay loyal to the Empire. And it really started to feed into the feeling of a proper civil war. Well, that phrase is an oxymoron. Nobody wants a civil war. But the greatness of the Galactic Civil War, it fed into that really well. And I hope if Crosshair, I'm thinking Borderlands, my apologies. If Crosshair does get killed off, I could see it being him trying to save Omega. So he's probably going to die first. Now, at 042, the main bad guy from Season 2, will he die? Maybe. But probably more to the Emperor's hand for really, really messing up keeping Omega. Because we do see him walking with Omega. But, not Omega, with the Emperor. So the Emperor knows about his project, about Omega. And with the amount of guards and troopers we're seeing in the area, the Emperor wants to make sure nothing happens to Omega. But the TV show's got a TV show, so something's going to happen to Omega. And he's probably going to get killed off too, if not by the Emperor's hand for messing up, or Vader's hand by messing up. Then probably the Emperor's, or maybe a soldier assigned to kill him when he fails protecting Omega. So, let's see. Press play, watching some more. There's nothing of greater importance to secure the future of this empire. So yes, no. Omega is definitely going to be the prime engine and vehicle of the show, which they have to be careful about executing this. They really have to. So, I am optimistic about this show because it looks great. They're keeping the smooth CG style of the Clone Wars, making all the animation nice and pretty and fluid. They're showing the changing of technology and just the overall galaxy, which is what I really applaud the Bad Batch for. But how they execute this show, this season, will be a big, big thing. Hopefully I could do a reaction video after watching the last episode. And hopefully in the future, if those of you appreciate this video and these thoughts, I could maybe break down what makes Season 1 and 2 great, if you like. Either way, I hope this video finds you well. And until next time, brothers and sisters in the Force, may the Force be with you always.